Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the opening best-of-3 series of the Summit 2 European Qualifier. All right, we've got 8 teams squaring off in a best-of-1. Why did I say best-of-1? It's a best-of-3 single elimination bracket. The top 2 teams will secure a spot in the Summit Europe. And it's very exciting. We've got 2 best-of-3s today, and here is Game 2 of our opening series. It's xGame.kz versus Kompas.gaming. Kompas looking strong in game number 1 with a dominant performance, and we'll see if they can do it again here coming into game number 2. Let's take a peek at this draft and see what's going on before we get too far ahead of ourselves. And oh boy, remaining. We've got some fun ones. Death Prophet, the first pick for xGame. They had first pick this time around, and they spent no time delaying. They knew they wanted Crobulus, the Death Prophet, and they picked her up. She's still almost as strong as ever, the ultimate on a slightly longer cooldown, but she's still damn dirty, and the hero to pay some attention to. Radiant side, they took their time with their first picks, burned a lot of that bonus time, but they settled on Skywrath Mage and Ogre McGee. All right, Magooch. Ogre Magi here. We've seen a lot of him recently and all the fun that he can be, a barrel of laughs, and I'm hoping to see a core Ogre one of these days. Apparently it happened in the America qualifier the other day. Don't know how great it is per se, but put him mid and let him get a little bit of momentum, you know. Go for a fast soul ring, get yourself an Aghanims, maybe get a Bloodstone after that, and, you know, grab yourself an E-Blade maybe, start throwing out some of those multicasts, and you're blasting them, man. It hurts. It adds up pretty quick. I don't know. We'll see it here, though. Most likely to be the position 4 for Kompas.gaming, and or position 5, I suppose, depending on how they want to spread the farm around with that Skywrath. A lot of flexibility, though. All 3 of these heroes could play an array of roles. Puck could be their offlaner here. That could be your Goric hero, or it could be F and Ninja headed mid with the Fairy Dragon. Only time will tell. Now, xGame, they'll grab the Shadow Shaman with their second pick, so quite obvious they want to do a bit of push in this game. They'll be knocking down some towers with that Exorcism instead of Rasta Pasta wards. And they've got the Centaur now for the offlane. I love the synergy between the Centaur and the Death Prophet, especially in those early levels. She's cruising around at that race car build pretty early on. We'll see her rush a Yules, maybe get some drums and whatnot, and to go with those phase boots. But it just helps her close the gap before that Yules comes out, and she can chase people down with that Crypt Swarm and get down and dirty, and also give her a nice getaway vehicle. But speaking of vehicles, we've got the Life Stealer, and he's been rising in popularity a little bit over the last, well, I don't want to say the last few days, maybe the last couple weeks or so. We haven't seen him a hell of a lot, but a little bit more and more. Saw him yesterday when I was casting or the day before when I was casting with Blitz for Starladder EU group stages. But Puck, Life Stealer, one of those tried and true combos. You infest inside, you got a little infest bomb going on, a cute little Fairy Dragon, all of a sudden, oh, Jesus! Oh, you got a Ghoul coming out, and it's doing a lot of damage. It hurts. So I like that combo. There's a lot to like about it. And they will have to secure that Life Stealer, a little bit early farm, but shouldn't be too much of an issue here. And actually some decent kill potential in that laning stage with Ogre, Skywrath, and Life Stealer. A couple of heroes you don't really want to man up against early on, especially big tubby Ogre there. But yeah, with some silence, maybe some open wounds, hit him with an Ignite. Life Stealer be chop, 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 chasing him down. And I could see some kill potential there in a safe lane, tri-lane. Now, xGame grabbed the Razor. Obviously synergizing with their push once he gets up that Aghanim Scepter. And
10 seconds remaining.
Are they going to put him in the safe lane? I think most likely. They're position 1 safe lane farmer. And I'm trying to remember, is Wadafucka more inclined to play the Death Prophet or the Razor? Those will be your 2 heroes for Mantis and Wadafuck. It doesn't really matter who's on which. You can safe lane the DP. Either way, they're both going to get a lot of farm. I'm going to be farming cores here. Nature's Prophet and Enigma, the final 2 bands coming out here. I like this band from Kompas, a hero that would have given xGame some pretty serious lane efficiency, though. It would have been pretty greedy to grab the Enigma. That's 4 heroes that all really need a lot of farm. And then you've got your Shadow Shaman, who isn't the best position 5 running around not getting any experience, because he really wants to hit level 6. He wants to get those wards. He wants to have his snakes come down, chip away at the towers, and do the stuff that he does earlier rather than later.
5 seconds remaining.
But could have been scary if they could have pulled it off. Kompas.gaming will hedge their bets. And oh, the Beak! The Beak Master, Shadow Fiend! All right. Kompas.gaming, they're keeping things interesting here. Now, how are they going to lane this? I think it's most likely to be your Shadow Fiend mid, your Puck off lane, and you've got that safe lane try with your Ogre and your Life Stealer. I love this. You've got Bloodlust for your Life Stealer and your Shadow Fiend. You've got the late game hard carry Life Stealer with the nice kind of mid game carry Shadow Fiend. He has a couple of peaks, and one of them is in that mid game. A little bit of that Viper syndrome where he's fighting, he's doing a lot of damage when Life Stealer is still kind of coming online. When Life Stealer will come online, get inside the puck, they'll have a little bit of team fight. Very well rounded. I like this. I'm also just pumped up. I like seeing Shadow Fiend. He's a hero we don't get to see enough of. They just buffed up the way he looks. I'm not a big fan of his face. I don't like that they beaked him, but he's still badass, and I hope they have the Arcana because, whoo, it's awesome. It instills fear in the hearts of your enemies. It's good shit. xGame, how do they react here? What do they need? Well, they will need another support. So their options are somewhat limited in terms of doing the old switcheroo with cores. They'll settle on old Jackie. They'll grab Jakiro here, a twin-headed dragon, so more pushing power. They're kind of not quite all in on the push, but that is a big part of their lineup. And as we've seen on this new patch, it's a little bit riskier. It's still viable. These pushing strategies can still work, but you don't snowball nearly as quickly. It's a lot harder to knock down those Tier 1 towers in succession after one another, thanks to that glyph refreshing. And you just got to be a lot more mindful of how you go about it. You got to knock down the towers, but manage your risk a bit more than you did in the past, because you just don't get the same amount of gold from those towers. So if you take a couple of towers and then you lose a team fight, it's just not a worthy trade. It's just not good stuff. All right. Well, welcome to this game, ladies and gentlemen. KPG up 1-0 in this best-of-3 series, one game away from moving on to the next best-of-3 in this tournament. And similarly, xGame, one match away from elimination. Let's introduce some rosters here, see how this laning phase will settle down on the Radiant side. It'll be Kompas.gaming, KPG, Gotham will be on the Tubby Ogre. Arts will be on the Position 1 Life Stealer. PSM will take the Skywrath Mage. Mid lane, it'll be Affin Ninja, not rocking the Arcana, but that's okay. We won't hate him too much. On the new Beak Master, the Shadow Fiend. He'll be rocking the mid lane, and in the off lane, it will be Gorak here on the Fairy Dragon Puck. Now Dire side, they will defend their jungle, and they will be semi-successful. Observer Ward comes down on the high ground here. It won't get scouted out. Puck will be a little too nimble for him, but their pole camp will be safe, and that's really what they were looking for. It looks like it will be a safe lane try. It'll be Mantis that takes point on the Lightning Revenant Razor. Equal will be on the twin-headed Dragon Jakiro, and we've got the Shadow Shaman, Mr. Rasta, played here by Reeves. It will be Stallcat taking the Centaur. Big Brad headed to the off lane. And in the mid, that's Wadafaka on Crobulus, the Death Prophet. Man, I love it when you know all their old names on the same team. That's good. It's a rarity. I usually don't know them all. Usually one that eludes me. Early runes will go the way of KPG. Invisibility goes to old Robin Goodfellow here. And Skywrath Mage picks up the Bounty Rune. Nice little pick-me-up. And he'll head down bottom. All right, PSM needs a second, so we'll take a moment here. Boop, 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 ba, ba. Oh, it wouldn't be a live game without a pause. I do favor this KPG lineup a little bit, assuming they can hold off the snowball. If they can make it past the 25-minute mark, they should be in pretty good shape. They've got the late game secured, I think, suffice it to say, with the Shadow Fiend and the Life Stealer. As I mentioned in the draft, Shadow Fiend will help him in the mid-game quite a bit. Of course, he's a late-game carry as well. Don't be silly. Come on now, but he has a couple of peaks. He's one of these, he's like Luna. He peaks up a couple of times. You know, she hits level 7, that's her first peak, then she kind of dies down. It comes back up in the late game. Oh, she's off the charts. Shadow Fiend kind of does a similar thing. Once he maxes out those Shadow Raises, boy, can he put out a lot of burst damage in that mid-game. Once he starts moving around, especially if he goes for a more mobile build, like a Blink Dagger, maybe an early Shadow Blade, or just could go Hand of Midas into BKB and just start farming towards the late game here. We'll see how it works out. Now, xGame, their strategy a little bit more transparent. They need to knock down towers, simply put. If they don't get any tower kills early on, or they lose a couple of key team fights before their team fight pushing prowess really comes online, things will get very difficult for them. So this game, very momentum-based, just kind of in general, and I would say just a little bit more risky on the side of xGame. Initial analysis here, off-laners having a rough time, but Stallcat having it particularly rough. PSM using the power of the Skywrath Mage to every degree that he can. Getting that Arcane Bolt level 1, just completely sewing out the Centaur. Boots first and chewing through all those tangos. Found a little bit of experience, but not even getting close to the creep wave. Puck suffering from a similar plight in the top lane. Will find a little bit of experience, but not going to be an easy time on either side of the coin. So you can assume both safe lane farmers will pick up a lot of CS, both the Life Stealer as well as the Razor should be in essentially free farm heaven, just racking up those last hits. The mid lane will be kind of the big disparity here. Alpha Ninja versus What a Fucker. The Shadow Fiend versus the Death Prophet. And I think the Shadow Fiend should do pretty well, especially in the once he gets through those initial difficult levels, get some of those souls stored up, and he's already off to the races here. 12-5 versus the 6-2 Death Prophet. Wow, he got that momentum a little bit faster than I thought he would have, but already dominating this mid lane, and we'll see Stallcat just rotate out of the bottom lane, realizing he's getting absolutely nothing. Even goes that first point in return, so needs to be extra cautious, doesn't have that hoof stomp to get away, and we'll use that just to move in the jungle. He'll find some stinky mud golems and see if he can go to work. Starts the beginning of his Tranquil Boots and gets that Ring of Protection, but slow start for the Centaur. Puck finally finding something. They've lost a little bit of the creep momentum here. Jakiro will just pull a single camp. No Stackerino. But Puck halfway through level 3. Has found a couple of last hits for CS. Not too shabby. I think he'll be happy to find experience. So any last hits are kind of a bonus here as now this creep wave shoves into the tower. Using that orb to rack up the last hits on that Boots First Fairy Dragon. KPG now recognizing the Centaurs left the lane. They'll rotate mid, and oh no, what a fucker. This is the hero you want to kill early on. Fire Blast to bring her down. Alpha Ninja's there with the burst. First Blood's drawn, and it's Shadow Fiend to get it. It may cost him their PSM, and it will. Can Alpha Ninja find another kill out of it, though? He's taking an odd path around. Centaur grabs his hoof stomp, but the level 5 Shadow Fiend will be okay. Now he'll turn on to Stallcat, connects with one raise, but won't find another. A 1-for-1 trade, but an obvious advantage for KPG. Your Shadow Fiend getting the first blood. Always a scary sign. And Death Prophet, probably your highest priority gank right now. She's another very momentum-based hero, and if she gets shut down early, recovery can be a little bit difficult. So the CS is leveled out a bit more in the mid. His DP getting some Crypt Swarms under her belt, but Alpha Ninja has his soon-to-be Aquila and Boots of Speed on the way once he grabs that courier here. So, good stuff for the Radiant. Now a big level advantage over the DP. Down bottom, they'll find a dive onto the Centaur, and they're going deep for this one. A silence comes out. Arts will open the wounds. Out comes the follow-up damage, and Stallcat dies at his tier 2 tower, and that'll make it 2-1. And this time KPG will walk away almost unscathed. Take a bit of damage from the tower shots, but they've got some creeps here at the tier 1. They'll abuse this new path in the trees. Reeves looking for the wraparound. Stallcat TPs to the tier 1, looking for the hoof stomp. Will find it onto Arts. Reeves in the front lines, does enough damage to bring down the Skywrath. Now you've got the shackles on Arts, and that'll be a double kill. Makes it 3-2 as xGame finds some recovery. Double kill onto the Shadow Shaman. That'll get him some much-needed experience. Now halfway through his level 4. That double damage rune helping out quite a bit there also. What a Fucker rotates his way down and doesn't really get much out of the rotation and gives Alpha Ninja more space in the lane to continue racking up the free farm and find his level 6. So still not the best rotation from the Death Prophet, but huge reaction from xGame, and they played that one smart. Centaur with the fast respawn timer, TPing to the tower, and helping to set up that kill. So just glancing at the graph, KPG still with a 500 gold and experience edge, and they are finding some more efficient farm just in general. Puck now up to 9 last hits, finding his level 5. Meanwhile, Stallcat now into level 4 with his Tranquil Boots. So both offlaners finding a little bit extra here. Life Stealer is slightly out-farming the Razor. Not by a huge amount, but still has a CS advantage. Sitting on this early Gloves of Haste, it looks like Arts will invest in a Hand of Midas. So really wants to secure this late game for his team. Could be a little bit risky against the momentum-based pushing power of xGame, but he'll roll the dice. And like I said, if they can just survive, okay, no, he's going to get just a fast set of power trips. Alrighty. You'll see Life Stealers more often than not opt for the phase boots, but you'll still see the power treads every so often when they want that tread swapping utility and just a little bit extra attack speed, of course. Mid lane, we'll see some initiation as Whatafucka takes a raise to the face, and he's now level 7, so this is where Ninja can put out a lot of burst damage. Bounty Rune picked up by the Shadow Shaman. It is an illusion at the bottom. It looks like XGame will scurry their way down there, and they will secure both runes here at the 6-minute mark. So DP will get to top off her bottle. Sitting at level 6 right now, still about a full level behind the Shadow Fiend. So still feeling the pain of that initial gank and all that momentum Ninja was able to pick up. Gorak in the top lane. He'll get hexed up by Reeves. Mantis stealing his damage, and this should be a kill on the puck. Looking to orb out. Won't be able to make it. Ninja heads towards the top lane. Needs to be a little careful, though. How much damage can he actually put out? It could be a feed. He'll finish off the Razor, but it'll cost him his life. Not really the exchange the Shadow Fiend was looking for. And we'll give a lot of experience to these two dire supports, who are both pretty experience-driven supports. We've got a level 6 Shadow Shaman now, and now a level 5 Jakiro. That's a level 3 Liquid Fire, and Rasta Wards in the fray. So the pushing could start to commence. More space created, though, for Arts, as KPG just finding slightly more efficient farm out of these lanes. XGame getting the better of the kills, but the CS score is pretty obvious which team has the edge on that front. This will be good news for DP, though. She'll have some time in the lane to play by herself, and she'll have her phase boots on the way as the Naked Greevil brings back the bottom and that next blade of attack. Here we go in the top lane. Got him. Caught inside of the ice path. Got him. And they'll finish him off here as Rasta Wards come down. The Snake's doing a lot of damage to this Tier 1. Of course, they'll get the free glyph and they'll use it, but this will be a pretty fast Tier 1 tower kill. Not a hell of a lot the Puck can do to repel it. Liquid Fire making this push a lot easier, and Puck no longer has a Dream Coil. Tower goes down. It will be the Rasta that grabs the last hit. So 8 minutes in, they get their first tower kill. Not too shabby for the Dire side. We'll get that snowball rolling as they will now take the gold lead, and experience is just about zeroed out. Lifestealer finding some free farm in the meantime, though, just racking it up in the bottom lane. Looks like he'll be going into a fast armlet here, as he has the Blades of Attack and Gloves of Haste picked up already. Nice early aggressive build there. Double damage rune now by Whatafucka as he goes back to farming here in the mid. Looking at experience, these Radiant supports getting a little bit under-leveled. Ogre and Skywrath both only level 4. And meanwhile, XGame has a level 5 and a level 6. Soon to be a double level 6, as Equal is about 1 creep kill away, and yet we'll find it as he leeches down here in the bottom. Stallcat soon to find his level 5, and that's making him a bit more bursty. Now that third point and double edge will come out onto the field, and it looks like they're thinking about a rotation. Nope, thought DP was going to rotate bottom, but not quite yet. 4-0-4, as DP will have to wait for another level before she has her ultimate. Meanwhile, in the bottom, Stallcat, he gets jumped on, and there's that tri-lane killing power we talked about in the draft. Ogre going 2-2 at level 4, and the silence from PSM maxed out 1-1-3 at level 5, and with the open wounds, makes it an easy kill. Lifestealer gets a little bit of extra gold coming his way. The two hard carries topping the net worth chart out of the gate. Always scary in the eyes of the opposition. Shadow Fiend, is that a Midas? It sure is. So they'll go for the single Midas. They'll get the Lifestealer to go for the right-clicking build early on, and they'll get Shadow Fiend to secure his farm towards the late game. And a good time for him to pick up that item as he'll get initiated on here in the mid lane, and the Rasta Wards come down to secure this. Ooh, that new sound effect. Pretty scary. Scary stuff. Well, a kill on the Shadow Fiend is always good stuff, but he's already got his Midas secure. Didn't get to use that first cooldown, so that does slow him down a bit, but still, he has that farming tool, so recovery will be inbound, but also using Rasta Wards for just a solo kill. That means they won't be able to push the tower. If they had the Rasta Wards here on the high ground to secure that kill, that would have been a different story, but now pushing this will be very difficult. Still no ultimate out on Whatafucka, and that Tier 1 tower will stay standing a bit longer. So although the kill on the Shadow Fiend is good, it does delay that pushing power that much more, and usually that 25-30 minute mark is still a good rule of thumb for when these carries will take over and the pushing momentum of XGame will start to expire. So they are on the clock, and they still have a lot of towers to go, but we're still waiting for that Death Prophet to hit level 9 before XGame really turn up the juice and start moving around. Also need that Centaur to find his level 6. And it's going to be delayed even more as Arts goes in on him, uses his rage, but they force a big TP reaction. 3 TPs, one of them gets canceled, but Mantis and Reeves will have enough to secure a kill here. It looks like Shackles will lock the Lifestealer in place, and down he goes. Not going to be able to survive that one. Meanwhile, in the mid, Alpha Ninja will get engaged upon by Whatafaka, and Equal finds the kill onto Equal. Now Whatafaka uses the ultimate, but Alpha Ninja stands his ground, finds a 1 for 2. And Gotham comes in, and it's a double kill for Alpha Ninja. And a 2 for 2 across the map. Let's look at the recap here, and that'll just be the last fight we saw. And it will be a small advantage for KPG. So Shadow Fiend got the first kill before he died, and Death Prophet got the experience for the Shadow Fiend kill before she went down. So kind of a decent trade for both sides. Yeah, look at the graph just teetering back and forth over the 0 gold mark. As we see a lot of aggression early on in this game. Exactly how I like it. Speaking of aggression, down bottom, Dream Coil out onto Mantis. Reeves is here, has some roster wards, but he'll get silenced by the puck as he hops in. Ward trap on the puck, sitting on brown boots. That'll be the end of Gorak, but out comes the Mystic Flare. Mantis and Reeves both low, but there's just no follow-up damage. They can't bring him down, and that'll be the end of it. It'll be a 1 for 0, but again, roster wards, this time they come down in range of the tower. So they get the kill and decent damage on the tower. This is hashtag efficiency for these roster wards, and this is the way you want to do it, if at all possible. Alpha Ninja will TP down, and he says, free gold for me. Thanks, buddy. He can one-shot these bad daddies. He'll bring him down, get his tower into deny range. Macro Pyre comes out. They'll burn their glyph. And whoa, Equal, he'll hang around a little bit too long. Arts comes around the backside, opens up the wounds, and will chop him down. Tower gets denied as Shadow Fiend lobs a bucket of souls there, and all right. So tower denied. That's a pretty big deal. These early towers don't yield as much gold as they used to. That's 80 gold apiece when it's denied. So just looking at that, conceding your Jakiro in exchange for a tower denied kind of levels out, and xGame barely get a boost out of that. They're not getting the momentum they were looking for, especially now that Alpha Ninja has this farming tool in tow. They're looking towards the late game and looking pretty strong. Gotham finally finds his level 6, looking for those coin flip fire blasts. Crypt Swarm comes through, but not enough damage to bring him down. Whatafaka will get stampeded, does have a haste rune as well, but the stampede was actually down bottom. Art's getting initiated on. He will infest, but looking like this will be a tough one. Will rage through the ice blast, try to TP home, almost makes it, but not enough. Mega kill streak for Reeves now on this Shadow Shaman. And he's 5-0-5. Normally I'd say, oh, that's not so great. You'd rather have that on a carry. But now he has a fast Blink Dagger. 13 minutes. Support Shadow Shaman Blink Dagger is great. Meanwhile, up top, there's that coin flip. 2x onto the Centaur makes it an easy kill as Gorek starts it off with the Dream Coil. So this Shadow Shaman finding all these kills is great. Now you've got that Blink instant cast Hex to initiate these fights. You can grab that Life Stealer before he can rage out. And if you have the follow-up stuns, it's pretty damn scary. This is actually pretty decent for xGame. They will burn 2 big ultimates to bring down an early Roche, Shadow Shaman wards, and Exorcism deployed. And it will be an Aegis of the Immortal going the way of the Death Prophet, who has now grabbed her Yule Scepter. So been a decent timing on that one, as now she's also found her level 11. Let's take a gander at the graphs and see how xGame are faring. And still holding on to their very minor golden experience lead as Gorek pressures the top tier 1 tower, and xGame will rotate out of the Roche pit into the tier 1 here in the mid. Now they've got a maxed out liquid fire. Yule's used on the Shadow Fiend. He'll take a silence, but Whatafaka, he goes in way too deep. There's a reaction. That'll be the end of the Aegis already, and he'll probably die once more. They're ready to set it up. Gotham's there with the Fire Blast up in a few seconds. Alpha Ninja requiems the souls, but Whatafaka, he's too speedy. The Ogre needed a stun there, and he just couldn't get it. She'll bottle up the double damage room, and that'll be the end of it. What a valuable team fight recap that is. Wow. All right, well, looks like we'll see another fight break out as KPG want to get aggressive. They'll go into the high ground, cut into the lane. Oh, no, miscommunication. Double wards come down. That's a bummer. They ping it out like, son of a bitch. We got to communicate, boys. That's not good. So a couple of wasted wards up on the high ground. Stallcat, he gets silenced, hops right into the Mystic Flare. Not enough to bring him down right away, but Gorek will get shackled. Stallcat will connect with a double edge, cost him his life, but finds the kill on the puck. Now Arts, he'll go down as well. Ogre, he gets taken out by a Crypt Swarm, and it's a huge fight for xGame. They lose their tier 1 tower in the mid. Alpha Ninja is able to finish it off, but it's a 1-for-4 trade. Oh boy, they even lose their Skywrath on the retreat. Alpha Ninja able to make it out, but now xGame getting some of that momentum that was much needed there. The tower kill will help out the trade, but eek, now xGame getting that snowball cruising. Glyph comes out, that'll slow them down a little bit, but they will grab the last of the outer towers and further their lead that much more. Centaur taking a lot of the damage that fight. He has his Blink Dagger up, and oh no, don't get a little too aggressive. Alpha Ninja takes a silence, can't finish off that kill. He's on the run, taking a lot of damage. Razor, 1-2 more whips will bring him down, but the multicast from Ogre, he's getting the coin flips by this guy. A lotto ticket, he's getting them when they count. And Mantis will overcommit on the Ninja. They'll find the kill. I would say nicely done, but it was just a matter of luck for Ogre McGee. And they get a recovery kill there. Yeah, a little exchange. Actually, more than a little. That's 1,000 net worth change going the way of KPG just from that singleton kill onto the Razor, ending that streak also. Ooh, more initiation. It's a bloodbath in this game, folks, as Gorak gets jumped on. Even an exorcism used for this. Gorak will be able to orb up, and oh no, it's a wasted stampede. Got him. Just get out, cut your losses. Now he's caught inside of the Yules. He'll take a silence as he goes down, but from the high ground, Mystic Flare, Dream Coil. This has been an odd exchange. I'm not sure what Ogre's plan was, but it did cost him his life. And we'll end up just being a 1-0 in this little skirmish here. Art's getting aggressive, looking for the right opening here. But can he find what he's looking for? He's all by his lonesome, and they could try to sandwich the Lifestealer here if he's not careful. Centaur has the blink. Not enough mana for the Hoof Stomp, though. And nope, he'll be safe. Never mind. So, end of the day, Shadow Fiend is still the big breadwinner here. 3,000 gold, 2,500 experience, a decent lead, but is it enough? Arts now, Rasta Wards come down once more, blink forward from the Centaur, and they'll have the damage to bring down the Lifestealer. So they're using these ults very liberally, but finding kills on the carries means it's worth it. And again, we'll glance at a little recap, and yeah, nice little change there. Going to further that experience farm. It is still Shadow Fiend that's racking up the farm, and he will just move Midas into BKB. So still trying to secure that late game. One of the issues with going BKB first item with that new change is you will get down to that 5-second charge nice and early on. And there are some abilities that go through the BKB here, but plenty that don't. And I think it's still a warranted pickup for the Shadow Fiend, so we can kind of just go ham in these team fights. The big one, of course, is the Exorcism. And that one will cut right through the BKB, where the Shadow Fiend needs to be rather careful. What a fucker. Starting to tank up a bit. Has a casual vitality booster. Could be just a casual pickup. Beginning of an Atos, a heart. Only time will tell. But in the interim here, just a great value item, giving him some much needed HPs. 1,300 on What a fucker, as he is one tanky mother at this stage in the game. KPG up top. They'll set a trap to see if the dire side will spring it. The surprise inside is Gorak, ready to be that delivery vehicle. Shadow Fiend on his way up, has that fresh 10 seconds of magic immunity, ready to rock and roll in this team fight. They'll cut the lane. KPG with a dose of aggression here. Puck ready to hop forward. Silence. The multi-cast onto Mantis. Art hops out, does have the Infest Bomb. Do they actually have the damage to find a kill? 3-hero Dream Coil will stop them dead in their tracks. Stallcat's completely isolated on the other side of the tower. Ninja trying to bring him down, but Gorak, he's in trouble. He'll